O-line. I think if we can keep the O-line and, you know, Robert, if we give him as much time every game, I think that'll really keep us consistent in winning. And staying healthy is key to staying consistent throughout the season. If we got a small team, so if everyone stays healthy, we'll be able to keep that team, and more wins will happen if we have a healthier team.
Certainly, best ability is availability, as many always say. And then looking over at San Marcos, they're also having a great season so far. 3-1 is their 2025 record. They're 1-1 at home, 2-0 on the road. Their only loss coming to Mount Miguel, 20-27, where they lost on what seemed to be sort of a controversial 2-point play at the end. They failed that 2-point conversion, ended up losing the game. Jack, how do you think San Marcos has been able to bounce back after that loss to Mount Miguel?
Well, going into Mount Miguel, I feel like we had the mentality that this is going to be a blowout game, and once we kind of put that mentality behind us and took every game very serious, we've been able to see a very big difference, and it's just led us to being more successful and having more victories this year.
And then another thing you want to look at with regards to San Marcos is the offense. They've always had a very, very explosive offense behind Crete Makahele, and it certainly shows this season so far in their last 3 games versus Tesoro, at Poway, and at Mater Dei Catholic. They have put up a total point differential of +80. They have scored 45 points in the last 3 games, and so far this entire season they have a +79 point differential. And Taisha, how has the San Marcos offense just been able to be so explosive?
I honestly think it starts on the O-line. They don't get much praise, but they got to make the time and make the space for the QB and the running backs. And they've got to make the time for Crete to get a pass off, but they're lucky their receivers are quick because they can get out, and it's much easier for the O-line to hold up with that.
And that's definitely one of the keys to this offense, as that offensive line, a couple of the members, Parker Allred, Cooper Meyer, Wyatt Britt, those are 3 guys that have been playing with each other forever. Definitely have built a lot of chemistry between each other, and that certainly helps to protect a guy like Crete Makahele and just bolster this offense. And looking at other key players, I think one of the most popular names for the San Marcos team has been Zamar Reese. He is having an unbelievable breakout season this year. He has ran for 539 yards, which is 7th in San Diego, and 195 receiving yards in 4 games, putting up absolutely electric numbers. Has 11 total touchdowns, 7 rushing, 2 receiving, and 2 on punt return. He has just been an absolute monster this year. And Jack, what impact does a player like Zamar Reese make on this team?
The impact he makes, it's very electric. He just always scoring, always giving a bunch of effort. He has his O-line blocking for him, just setting up for lots of opportunities. He's very fun to watch, and when he has the opportunity to just take the field and go for a touchdown, it's just really fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that guy Zamar is insane. He just slips away from tackles. It's crazy. So he also has 9 yards per carry, and they just feed him the ball. So yeah, love to see it out of him.
Certainly, when you have a player who's putting up the stats like he is, why would you ever give anyone else the ball? I mean, looking a little bit deeper, he's leading the team in average receiving yards per game with 48.8. He averages 134.8 rushing yards per game. Absolutely unreal numbers. He has 100 rushing yards in every single game this season, and he received his first D1 offer from the University of San Diego earlier. And him coming from El Camino, he's part of the big trio of the Reese brothers between Caleb, him, and Judah. They've made a certainly huge impact for this team. But how has he just been able to make such a huge step up from last year?
Well, last year he had to split reps with another running back, Tabari. But I think this year, now that he got the spotlight, he's just been able to take that opportunity and just show the people, or show everyone why he needs all that playing time. Like, he's very successful once he is on the field, and just once he's not splitting those reps, he's just really dominant.
Definitely. Now that he doesn't really have to split reps with guys like Tabari Lane and CJ Williams anymore, he's able to get a lot more action in the game, and he certainly shows off the skill that he has and the talent he has. And then looking at San Pasqual, they have some of their own talented players as well. You mentioned earlier Robert Renteria, the senior quarterback. He's been having a great season through 3 games so far. He's throwing for an average of 181.7 passing yards per game, 46 yards per game on the ground, so showing off that dual threat ability, as well as 7 pass touchdowns 3 touchdowns on the ground, and even a receiving touchdown. He is making everything happen on the field. And just how has Robert Renteria been able to lead this team over the course of this season and over the course of his career?
Well, I mean, like I said, I coached Robert in as a freshman, and he walked onto the campus and started to lead instantly. And then you see that over the course of his career, learning the playbook, getting confident in it. His sophomore year, kind of getting varsity football under his feet. I mean, and a lot of people don't remember last year in the championship game, he played that game on what he didn't know then, but then went to the doctor the next day on a broken leg. He pulled a Greg Jennings in the championship last year and played that on a broken leg, and they lost by 2 points. And I think that moment, the whole team went, okay, that's my guy. I'll do anything for this guy. And you saw that in their off-season work, giving up their summer times, giving up their time, free time to come out and practice just because of him and the other seniors on this team. Bachua, obviously Marcus Rocha, all these seniors, it's like, no, that's our guy. We're going to do what it takes to get it done this year. And so he's just been a leader his entire career.
And you mentioned his injury, and one of the best things for injuries is a bye week, being able to rest up and recover. And San Pasqual, they're coming off a bye week. And Cooper, what kind of impact does having a bye week and getting all refreshed and rested up make for this team this week?
I think a bye week is like really, really good having it early. You know, you get the time to, after a few good 3 weeks, you get to regroup, refresh, and know what you have to fix through those 3 weeks. And, you know, get to keep your team healthy. Obviously not me, but I think that having your team healthy, you're regrouping and just refreshing for a big game like San Marcos, I think that's very, very good for a team. And I think coming off a bye week, it's like the best you could do up to a good team.
Definitely, both of these teams having pretty important weeks in the past couple weeks. You say San Marcos, obviously this being their homecoming week, San Pasqual coming off the bye week. There's going to be a lot going on, and you know, I think it's going to be a great game. And now we're going to cut to an intermission, and when we come back, we'll dive a little bit more into some players and some more key factors, then game picks coming up later.
whole time.
All right, welcome back to San Marcos High School Game Day. Once again, I'm your host, Brady Chesler, alongside us, Taj Knowles, Jack Mattiota, Coach Scotty, and now joining us, Rylan Reagan. Rylan, how do you feel to be here?
I feel great. I'm super excited to be here. How are you?
Doing good, doing great, you know. Love doing this and really excited to do it. Have you guys here, absolute blessing, love it. All right, and then diving back into San Pasqual, looking at some key players. We already brought up senior quarterback Robert Renteria, but who we haven't brought up is the elite pair of wide receivers that San Pasqual possesses. That is both Marcus Rocha, the senior, and Jared Breck, the sophomore. Both of these guys having unreal seasons, unreal careers, to be honest. Rocha so far 14 receptions, 243 yards and 4 touchdowns. Breck 10 receptions, 229 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, what is the connection like between Renteria and his pair of elite receivers?
So Robert and Marcus have been playing together since they were like born. So like there's a lot of like chemistry there that's happening. Jared came in last year as a freshman and they pulled him up for playoffs. He scored the game-winning touchdown to send them to the championship last year. And it was obvious, like, okay, kid's special. Kid's got a lot going on. And as fast as Marcus is, he really is more like a Lad McConkey, kind of underneath, run your route right, juke some people out. Jared Brecht is the Deshaun Jackson, I'm just faster than everybody. And so he stretches the field a little bit to get the defense to stretch out more for Marcus underneath. It's a special pair to watch.
And then Rylan, how do you think these two guys make an impact on the offense? I mean, having one elite receiver is already good, but having two, now you start to confuse the defense. They start to take attention off of each other. I mean, what kind of impact do they make to this offense, and how do they complement each other?
You know, it just makes like a whole new world out there, you know. You have Marcus Rocha, who's been there for 3 years and phenomenal player, but now you have Jared Brecht there, and it just opens up so many new possibilities for our team to, you know, succeed and score. So, you know, it really just changes the whole atmosphere of our offense. So, you know, it's really helped us, you know, get all the 41 points or the above 40 points in each game we've had for the 2 games, home games we've had this year. So, you know, it's, you know, very beneficial having both of them there.
And then talking key players, you've been talking a lot about offensive guys, but not too much, not giving a whole lot of love to the defense. So you look over at San Marcos, and there's one guy in particular who has really been putting on a show this season, Jet Zaire, who is a former quarterback turned middle linebacker, has just been unreal, an absolute game changer for this team. Jack, what kind of impact does a player like him make?
Man, he's special. He's just always in on the tackles. He has 51 tackles already this season. That's the second most in San Diego. He's averaging 12.8 tackles a game, and he's just always flying to the ball, trying to get a forced fumble or just trying to get that ball out and just getting in on every tackle. Is just very important because a guy like him, you never know when a loose ball can change the entire game around.
And then defense is always a key, but you know what's another key? The third part of the game, special teams, where things can really make a difference. And San Marcos has just had unreal special teams play. They've been an absolute game changer this season. You have some crazy things. Carson Monaghan with a blocked punt for a touchdown last week against Mater Dei Catholic, also had a 54-yard touchdown reception. Zamar Reese, like we said earlier, 2 punt returns, and they have 2 forced fumbles on kickoffs. Jack, how have the San Marcos special teams been able to take over games in key moments?
I think just once we get that ball from the defense, it's just another possession we're able to have and just allows us to score. We have Zamar with 2 punt returns. Just once he catches that ball and not fair catches it, just takes off to the end zone. That's really important. And then Carson Monaghan with his blocked PATs just gave us another touchdown like that and just really puts us ahead and changes the game all around.
And then flipping back over to San Pasqual, looking at their defense, I know there's a couple key guys on there. So who are some of the best guys to look at San Pasqual's defense?
Yeah, I mean, Lockwood, I almost called him Caden because I played with his older brother Caden way back in the day. And Landon Lockwood is a safety for us, and he was tops in the county in tackles last year. He had 140 tackles at the end of the season. I think he was like at least in the top 5, if not higher. And he was a sophomore. He comes back this year as a junior, kind of really leading this defense. When he hits people, it like sends a shockwave through the stadium. He can bring the hammer. He's kind of a Derwin James type where he's kind of all over the field. Sometimes he's back, sometimes he's rolled up. There's times where he's rushing the passer. He's all over the field. And then if you hear Trevor Bennett's name a lot tonight, it's going to be a good night for the Eagles. He's their pass rusher. He's the guy that has to cause chaos, especially when you're going against such a high-powered offense. Get back there, cause chaos. He's going to be a key factor tonight if he can get rolling.
right, sounds good. Now we're going to take a look at some games around San Diego, make some game picks. How's that sound to you, fellas?
Sounds good.
Sounds great to
All
me.
right, all these rankings coming via @Dago Football. First game up, number 13th ranked Santa Fe Christian going to Christian High School. That game's going to kick off at 7:30. Coach Scotty, who do you got?
Santa Fe Christian, another triple option team in the county. So I'm going to keep my triple option loyalty and go with Santa Fe Christian tonight.
I agree. At Santa Fe Christian, they've been doing pretty good this season. I think they can pull through this game.
Certainly Santa Fe Christian, that's the team I'm going to go with, the rank number 13. You have to earn a ranking in San Diego, and they certainly do. I got Santa Fe Christian winning this one.
Even though Christian is the home team, Santa Fe Christian has to go to an away game. I have to take Santa Fe Christian. They're just working with what they got, and they're doing it well.
I'm going to take Santa Fe Christian as well. They have a very strong passing game, and I think a team like Christian High School, I don't know if they can respond to that. It's very, very hard to beat a team that has a very good passing team.
And then next game up, St. Augustine at Mater Dei Catholic. The game's going to kick off at 7 p.m.
They beat us in the championship last year. I can't pick them. I got to go with Mater Dei. I'm sorry. We got to go with Mater Dei.
I agree. Not for the same reasons, but also Mater Dei, they have a very strong offense, and I think that they can definitely, do some damage to Mater Dei.
For sure, both of these teams, having a little bit of unfortunate seasons, but you take a look at the schedule and you kind of get an understanding why. Both these teams have some of the hardest first couple of games to start a season in San Diego, but I think Mater Dei Catholic is going to take the edge in this one.
I'm going to take St. Augustine for this one. I think Mater Dei Catholic is a pretty good team, but St. Augustine's better. I don't think they can keep up.
Yeah, after playing Mater Dei this past week, seeing their offense and defense, I think that a team like St. Augustine will be able to work around that with their good coaching and just the overall game that they play. So I'm gonna take St. Augustine in this one.
Then the next game we're going to look at number 8 Mount Miguel at number 15 Poway. The game's going to kick off at 7 p.m.
Wow. I've watched Poway for years. I don't know much about Mount Miguel, but like you said, top 10 in San Diego means something. And if that's where they are and that's who they truly are, then I just got to respect what people know, and I'm going to go with Mount Miguel.
I'm going to go with Poway. I think, Poway's always been a big threat in the years past, and I think Mount Miguel, they are ranked higher, but I think Poway can really come through tomorrow night.
I'm going to take Mount Miguel on this one. Like we said earlier, you got to earn your ranking in San Diego, and they've certainly done that and more. You look at some of the guys on this roster, and the most notable one, 5-star Brandon Arrington, Texas A&M commit. We saw him week 1, and we saw this team week 1, what they can do, and it certainly is something to watch. I have Mount Miguel winning this one.
I think Poway, they really can fight. I know that from when we played them. They were down, and they just kept fighting all the way until the end. So yeah, I think they can fight, but I'm gonna still have to take Mount Miguel on this one. So yeah.
Man, this is a very hard decision. I think Poway have some very good players, very big tight end, quarterback that knows what he's doing, and then like Brady said, Mount Miguel has Brandon Arrington, that just 5-star receiver, very fast. But I think I'm gonna take Poway in this one. Poway's they play much harder than Mount Miguel, and I think that if they give it all their all against Mount Miguel, I think they can take the win.
Then the next game we're going to look at La Jolla Country Day at Army Navy. That game will go at 7 p.m.
La Jolla Country Day has always got some hidden athletes in there. I think every year they've got some studs that can come out and play. Army Navy is one of the just toughest nosed teams in the county. It's hard to stay disciplined and stay as tough as they are. But from what I know from La Jolla Country Day over the years, they're going to have some people that show up. So I'm gonna go La Jolla Country Day on this.
I'm also going to go with La Jolla Country Day. They can definitely put in a fight. And, a hard team like Army Navy, they're going to fight back. But, I think La Jolla Country Day can really push through that.
I agree. I'm going to go with you guys. La Jolla Country Day, I believe, is going to get the win. It's always hard to beat a service academy. They're going to play you tough, but I think La Jolla Country Day is going to get the edge in this one.
La Jolla Country Day is definitely a good team. They're always good, but they're a little worse this year. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Army Navy. They can really fight. I think they're gonna tough it out and get the win.
Me personally, I think that the chemistry from Army Navy is very strong. All of them, they know how to work well together. But I just think that I don't think that they can outmatch La Jolla Country Day. They're a very strong team, solid athletes, and I just think they'll take the win over
And then finally, the last game we're going to take a look at, the game we've all been waiting for, the homecoming game itself, San Pasqual at the number 9 ranked San Marcos Knights. The game will kick off at 7:15 p.m. Scotty, who do you got?
Landon's making a big play on defense. Marcus is going to do what he does at receiver. Jared's got a big play in him. I'm going San Pasqual by like 6 or 7 tonight.
I'll agree. You know, I think it'll be like a 41-0 game, San Pasqual. You know, we're going to take it. We have Robert Renteria. You know, he's going to find Jared. He's going to find Marcus Rocha. So, you know, I'll stay loyal to our school, and I know we'll come out on top today.
I'm going to have to oppose that. I think San Marcos is going to take the win. You know, like we said, this is something we keep bringing up. You have to earn a top 10 ranking in San Diego. One of the hardest places to play, really anywhere you go, and San Marcos definitely earns that reputation. I think it's going to be an offensive battle. There's a lot of explosive weapons on both sides of the ball, but you put guys together, Preet Makahele, you put Zamara Reese, you put Ezekiel McIntyre, put them all on the field together, you get a great result. San Marcos is going to win this game.
I mean, believe it or not, I think I'm going to have to say San Marcos. Brady explained it very well. I think they're going to come out and absolutely explode into the just start super strong, absolutely blow this team out by like 41.
I agree with Taija. I think that San Pasqual has lots of talent on their team, but I think that San Marcos is just going to come out. We have Preet passing the ball, Zamar running it, and then just on defense too with Jet, Ty Sagasser, Wyatt Britt. I just think it's going to be hard for San Pasqual to get something past that. So I'm going to take San Marcos, obviously, also by 41 points.
And there you have it, San Marcos taking the panel 3-2. And that's all we have for our show today. If you want to watch this game, it will be live on NFHS Network. Otherwise, it looks like we have a touchdown in the background.
Yeah. Oh my
If you want
gosh.
to watch this game live, it'll be on NFHS Network. And if you're in the area, come on down to San Marcos and get some admission into this game. Once again, I'm your host, Brady Chesler. Joined alongside me, my co-host, Taija Knowles, special guest, Jack Mattiota. And from San Pasqual, we have Coach Scotty and Ryland. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Signing off, it's Brady Chesler. Thank you for watching San Marcos High School Game Day, and we will see you next time.